The Speaking Statements, the podcast of statements about the 50 U.S. states. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for alerts for when a new episode is released.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to our next episode of the Speaking Statements. I want to introduce Phil Klein, who was born and raised in Iowa, and it lives here right this very second to talk about Iowa today. Hi, Phil.
Hello, Julian.
It's nice to have you on my podcast. I have some questions about Iowa that I'm hoping you can answer.
My pleasure.
All right, my first question is, what do you like about Iowa and why?
Well, as you said, I came back after 17 years. Iowa has very good public schools and universities. That's a big plus for families. Unlike some of the neighboring states like Nebraska and Kansas, which are kind of flat, Iowa has lots of nice rolling hills, which give you a lot of variety for what you look at when you look out the window. And it has a low cost of living, lots of friendly people.
That's a good answer. My second question is, what kind of foods are popular in Iowa?
Oh, we have all the foods that you're used to, and then some specialties like fresh, harvested sweet corn. So Iowa grows an awful lot of corn, and some of it is so-called sweet corn for people to eat, so you put butter and salt on it. Other corn is used for feeding animals, and then there's also, of course, popcorn. So Iowa is famous for homemade buttered popcorn. Forget about that microwave stuff. We've got the authentic product right here. What else? Iowa is famous for its fried pork tenderloin, which is a piece of pork deep fried and breaded, and then you stick it into a bun with pickles, ketchup, mustard, etc. Usually it doesn't fit in the bun because the piece of meat extends past the edges of the bun, but it's kind of fun to eat, kind of sloppy but fun.
Oh, yeah, that's a good answer. But I do know that Iowa is known for its corn. My third question is, are there any odd facts about Iowa?
Oh, sure. Let's see. Did you know that Iowa has more pigs than people?
Whoa, no, that I did not know. 100% I did not know. Anything
Well,
else?
Iowa grows plenty of soybeans. You don't eat soybeans too often, at least you don't think so. But if you go to the store and buy bacon bits, take a closer look, and it's a good chance they're made from soybeans. Many things are made from soybeans, but most of the soybeans from Iowa is fed to animals or exported to Asia. What else about Iowa? It's bordered by two rivers, the Mississippi on the east and the Missouri River on the west define the borders of Iowa. Interstate 80, which is the main road between New York City and Los Angeles, California, goes right through Iowa. Or if you prefer the north-south axis, you can take the Avenue of the Saints, which goes from St. Paul, Minnesota, down to St. Louis, Missouri, again, right through Iowa. If you're going east to west, it takes about 6 hours to drive across Iowa from the Illinois border to the Nebraska border.
Wow, that's a cool answer. I didn't know all that. My fourth question is, what popular activities in Iowa?
There are lots of sports activities around high school sports and college sports. So the football team, the basketball team, all kinds of competitions and championships, et cetera, et cetera. Recently, we had a member of the women's basketball team, Iowa women's basketball team, achieve some notoriety and national fame. Her name is Caitlin Clark, and she's a very, very talented basketball player, and she awoke a lot of interest in women's basketball, which hadn't been there before, just because people wanted to watch her.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. My fifth question is, can you tell me about the farms in Iowa?
Well, there are farms that raise, as we've said before, lots of corn and soybeans, and also pigs and chickens as far as animals are concerned, and often in very, very large buildings. You could have a farm that would have big, low buildings with thousands of pigs or chickens in there, gradually growing up. A lot of the farm operations like planting and harvesting are automated these days, especially on the big farms. But there are still many smaller farms, family farms.
Yeah, that's a good answer. My sixth and last question is, if someone new came to Iowa, what would you recommend?
Well, the best times to come are spring or fall because summers tend to get a little too hot and there are a variety of things to see. If you really want to come to Iowa, you might check with the Tourist Bureau, Iowa Tourist Bureau. Besides visiting the capital city, Des Moines, we have other sites like the so-called Amana colonies, which is 3 or 4 small towns grouped together that try to maintain their German heritage. In the 19th century, an awful lot of German people emigrated to Iowa. And so sometimes they try to maintain their traditions and their religion and their code of dress in very strict communities.
Wow, that's a good answer for that last one. Well, I'm done with my questions. We were glad to have you here to talk about Iowa.
Well, it's been my pleasure, and I hope I gave you some valuable information. Thank you, Julian.
Bye.
Bye.
And now for my Iowa facts. The nickname is the Hawkeye State. It became a state in 1846 and was the 29th state. The capital is Des Moines, which is also the biggest city. The abbreviation is IA. It is bordered by 6 states. Missouri is to the south. South Dakota and Nebraska are to the west. Illinois is to the east. Minnesota is to the north. And Wisconsin is to the northeast. Mammals in Iowa include red foxes, 13-lined ground squirrels, least weasels, and white-tailed deer. Birds in Iowa include cerulean warblers, grasshopper sparrows, and scarlet tanagers. Reptiles in Iowa include yellow mud turtles, hognose snakes, and Great Plains skinks. Amphibians in Iowa include blue-spotted salamanders, central newts, mud puppies, and Great Plains toads. Effigy Mound National Monument is in Iowa. It has over 200 prehistoric earthen mounds. The mounds are in the shape of animals such as jaguars. And now we'll do the fast facts of Leo. Give it a go, Leo. You're on. What is the state pea? It's the oak. What is the state flower? It's the wild rose. What is the state bird? It's the eastern goldfinch. What is the state fish? It's the channel catfish. What is the state snack? That would be a s'more. Do we have any more? I know. Yeah, it's only 5 today. But don't worry. I promise we'll have more next time, Leah. How many? I don't know. Bye. And last but not least, we have the Iowa Quarter, which is the words foundation in education and this picture of a schoolhouse. That's all for today, but check in next week for the intro, season 7. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Speaking Statements.